Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. This is episode 72. I am your host, as always, Migs, with my co-host Charlie. And in today's episode, this is probably the most jam-packed episode we have had in quite some time. Tons of stuff. San Diego Comic-Con is this week. We got Fundays. We have the Fun on the Run box and some drama because the CEO, Brian, quit. I don't know. We'll talk about it later.
Ooh, yeah, Brian. But with all that being said, this is going to be a jam-packed episode. So make sure you like this video. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. And once you're done watching this, shoot us a comment so we can talk back. All right. With that being said, let's chat.
All right, welcome back, everyone. And if you didn't notice, we got a special guest again. It's Trae. You know, we love bringing him on, especially when we talk about these big events and cons and stuff. And we were away for a week. We're back, and this week we have so much stuff to talk about. Like I said in the intro, all this stuff
So
that's
much.
going on this week, and a crazy, news and drama, a bunch of stuff. But Trae, first of all, thank you again for being on. As you can see, if you guys are watching, he has like an amazing backdrop right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
Fun on the run. Looks like he's gonna go somewhere with all the suitcases.
Thank you
Looking
for
great.
having me. I definitely do appreciate always coming. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And he's got
for
the
sure.
beard really going in again.
Yeah, that thing
Yeah.
grew back so fast, man. I remember when you
It-
cut it, we were like, oh damn, you cut it. And it's
yeah,
literally
it's
back.
yeah, it's literally coming back, and that's because I didn't even straighten it. So it's still
Nice. All right, so we'll get right into it. So
Yeah.
we're gonna start it off with San Diego Comic-Con, the cream of the crop. Obviously, one of the biggest conventions that we have for the year, and Funko's a big part of it. So this year, interesting. They want to mention this. It was funny because we talk all the time, and the way they announced these reveals was weird. They were so spread out. It was like really
Yeah.
random. And in the beginning, for a little while, getting close to the con, we're like, there's like nothing coming out for this con. What the hell's going on? We only had a few random pops. It was like a couple of sodas, and it was kind of crappy. And then just like in 2 days, they hit us with like 100 items that were like, what the hell? Like 50
Unreal.
Freddies, and like it was insane. So we're not going to run through every single item because there is obviously a bunch of stuff on here that we don't really care too much about. If you guys are fans of it, definitely voice your opinions down below of what was exciting for you guys. But we'll run through like some stuff off of some of these pictures that we have with the shared exclusives and stuff, and just kind of things that we thought were pretty cool. You can start us off, Charlie, with a few that you thought, maybe run through a couple of the
Yeah.
rows or whatever, and then we can kind of go around.
I mean, I'm going to start off immediately. You kind of already said the Freddies. I feel like we all love Freddy here. I was shocked to see how many we are getting. Like, I don't remember a time where we've ever gotten this many like con Freddies that anyone can just buy. I actually was wondering, like, are these going to be show only? Like, no, everyone can buy these on Funko.com. So I'll run through them pretty quickly, but we're getting a Pez. So it seems like Pez at Freddy is back. We just had one for the last con.
Yeah.
Getting Freddy in like an inflatable pool toy of like Nessie, like the Loch Ness Monster, which I think that one's pretty cool. We're then getting one. It looks like, I find it weird that they've meshed the Fun on the Run with Comic-Con, maybe because it's like ending there. But this is the Freddy like that is from the Fun on the Run. You would think this would have been a Fun on the Run Funko Pop, not San Diego Comic-Con, but still cool. One's a bowling trophy of Freddy, which is so random. I don't know where they're going with this. I don't know if it's like, ooh, you bowl at camp. I don't know. Like that's a stretch. It's really, really random. We're then getting a Freddy soda, which is sick, of him snorkeling.
Yeah.
And then this is where it gets interesting. We're getting a ton of Blockbuster Rewind Freddies, to the point where I think this is a test to kill the soda, because there are I know we alluded to this in past episodes that it has its own like spot on the Funko floor plan, but the amount of these that they're making is crazy, especially for Freddy. I mean, we don't even have this many Freddy sodas. I don't
No.
think.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're getting him as like in the camping look. They're all kind of generic like movie tropes. I feel like we're getting a superhero one, like a sci-fi one, and a robot one. And I'm assuming they come with chases and they're just not showing them.
Yeah.
because they don't typically show the soda chase either in when they kind of announce these. I mean, they do when they kind of show their first images, but when they show the like shared images with everything, which is
Yeah.
the only time we've gotten these, which is also interesting. It's like, is there bad buzz around these? So they kind of just like swept them under the rug. It's just, what are
Yeah.
your guys' thoughts? I just find it, I'm shocked at how many of these VHS
Yeah,
blockbuster reruns are.
they went heavy on this. And I mean, we kind of somewhat hinted toward this when we were
Yeah.
talking about the last episode that they were gonna have like a blockbuster setup, basically. And I was like, well, why would they have such a big thing if they were only gonna announce a couple things? So we had a feeling there was gonna be more. We obviously saw a rumored list of certain movies and stuff that were gonna be on this. The Freddy ones were obviously a big surprise because they did come out of nowhere. I think like a lot of the Freddy stuff was announced at once and it was super late, just kind of like thrown in there. It was a little
Yeah.
weird. Like if you were scrolling through, you might have missed some because there were so many different ones that got announced. But like I like the idea. I'm still so like I don't know how I feel about these like little blockbuster rewinds. Like I think it's a cool idea. It looks like they're just going ham with this. I've seen people open them. Obviously, I know Trae, you actually got a box, so you'll be able to talk to them, whatever. But when they first saw them open, because I haven't actually opened my online box, they're tiny, like super,
Yeah.
super little figures. So I don't love them, but I don't know. It was kind of interesting that like it's kind of cool that they're like generically different like versions of him, but I think it takes away from the whole like mystique and coolness of Freddy, like just overdoing us with Freddy. It's not like this is a Fundays box. This is just Freddy as like a
Yeah.
bunch of other things, in a more common aspect. But I
Yeah.
don't know what you thought, Trae, with the tons
Honestly,
of
I didn't
Freddy
even
stuff.
know until today. I didn't even know they were coming out like at all. As far as like the Freddy's, I did see, the Marvin the Martian, but I don't know. I do like them. I don't know if I'll get all of them, but I don't know. I guess like since I already opened my Fun on the Run box, they do have a different texture compared to like the soda, the old Freddy vinyls, and even
Mm-hmm.
pops. They just have a softer like texture, I guess. It's
Mm,
a different plastic, that's for sure.
that's
Okay,
But
interesting.
interesting. Because
yeah,
I haven't opened mine either.
Yeah. Do
yeah,
we know the
it
price
definitely feels
points of
different.
these yet? Does anybody?
No,
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because that's another thing.
I
It's
think they're
like
going to be cheaper than sodas, and I
I
do want both of your
feel
opinions
like
on
they should.
this. I mean,
Yeah,
the price of aluminum is just keeps going up. I think Funko's like, we're losing money.
yeah,
This is a way to cut those costs. And I feel like the reason they had to change the figure style and come up with something new was because the soda was already such an established thing. I mean, it legitimately comes in a soda can. They weren't
Mhm.
going to be like, okay, we're going to put this in a plastic case.
Yeah.
I really do think there's not going to be as many sodas anymore. And we've even hit it, like we don't get those huge soda drops anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're going to become very, very limited.
Yeah. I do believe that. I mean, we've talked about that before, and like little by little, more things have kind of come out to make us think that even more. But yeah, they clearly got really expensive because they are more expensive for them to make, I'm sure, because like you said, with aluminum and everything and having these cans, I like hate that that's happening because I absolutely love sodas, obviously. Um, it's I mean, if they just disappear out of nowhere, I guess it'd be kind of cool to know you have so many sodas and OG sodas because they won't be coming out again. But I
Yeah.
do hope they don't
yeah,
get rid of them. Maybe they'll slow down. I mean, we still have some sodas in this,
Yeah.
drop that are going to be coming out. But like you said, maybe it's their way of testing these things out. If I'm being honest, I don't think these things are going to be super successful. I just don't see a lot of people getting very excited about these. But then again, some new drops, some new things when products come out, you don't know until you really start getting them out there and
Yeah.
people start getting them in their hands.
yeah,
So I guess we'll see. They are interesting. I mean, we'll get into some other ones that are coming out where it seems like they're gonna be a lot of these and not just like one character from a movie, because we have a couple other ones that are coming out later
yeah.
that are all coming from the same one. But Trae, you can talk about a couple things maybe that you that popped out at you, at least maybe with just the Funko.com drops for now.
Yeah. Definitely for sure. I did like the Spider-Man. I think that might be my
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
vaulted one. Um, and to be honest, like there's not really much this year, other than those VHS ones.
Mhm.
Not really much that I'm really wanting. Um, just 'cause I would say the sodas, but I've never seen Cobra Kai. So,
Yeah.
as many other
Yeah.
things I have not seen, as you guys know that. Um, yeah, there's not really much as far as like on the actual Funko website. I mean,
Yeah.
other things that are coming out from the shared retailers, maybe, but
It's
yeah,
good for
there's not.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is,
Lucky. Good for your
especially
wallet.
with, yeah, especially with the most recent trip and all the
Yeah.
Ninja Turtle stuff. Yeah, it's definitely gonna save me.
Yeah. I agree that there's not a ton of stuff on the Funko web like across the board that I'm like, oh my God, I gotta have that. The two Cobra Kai sodas I definitely are,
Yeah, me too.
those are ones that I'm probably most excited for on this entire page for now. Obviously, if you guys don't watch, like he said, Johnny Lawrence, Daniel Russo, the chases are super lame. Like it's like whatever.
I hate them.
But but it's cool that we're getting a soda of these. Obviously, it's a great pairing there to have, and I like that they dropped them kind of together. Like it's like
Yeah, me too.
these
It's
two are
cool.
coming out at the same time. As far as like a couple other random Freddy things though, there is a Freddy as him with the toucan like outfit on. I think that one's pretty cool. There's gonna be another Biddy, thing, which I'm not really going after that. Of course, there's the 3 liter Darth Vader as
Yeah,
well that's
sick.
dropping, which is really cool. Um, there's like a Stoop Dog. I'm not like too hyped for that. The Jessica Rabbit soda is a pretty cool one. Obviously, Roger Rabbit soda is one of the OG ones. So kind of cool to see her in soda form. But besides that, like you said, there's more of those tapes. So I did hint towards this. So Scooby Doo is one of the rewinds that they have, and they have one with that's Velma, right?
Yep.
And then the other one was Shaggy. So it's like our movie's gonna have multiple characters now, which I thought it was just gonna be like one. So it's like interesting. And then we have some Hanna-Barbera ones and stuff. So they're obviously gonna be doing a lot of these. We haven't gotten like any big major blockbuster movies yet, but we've seen those on a list, so we know those are probably gonna be coming. Oh, well, we saw like the Jurassic Park will potentially
Yeah,
be
which
one and
they
stuff.
are not on this. And there was also
Yeah.
supposed to be Buzz, and we were also supposed to get Peter Pan.
Yeah, so maybe they're not like exclusives, but we'll get them coming out soon. I don't know. It's interesting how these things have been coming out for sure. Like just the way they have. But that's kind of like off the top of my head, the biggest ones that I saw, besides like some that you guys mentioned. There's obviously a Tony the Tiger. There's like a
Yeah.
couple of Tony the Tiger things, but now we have a Pop and it's flocked. And then that hideous Thor one. Or yeah, the one we're
Oh, the
talking about.
Thor is terrible. Um, one I'm actually pretty excited for. I mean, I'm gonna just give my take on the Cobra Kai. Like, that's probably one of my most wanted of this entire con. I know I started with the
Mhm.
Freddy just because I love Freddy, but like that is one of my all-time favorite shows. I love Karate Kid. Like,
Yeah.
I got YouTube Red when it was called that just to watch Cobra Kai. That's how like hardcore I am. It actually bothers me that there's no other Funko Pops. I actually think I'm gonna make my first ever custom one. I'm gonna get a Blue Beetle Funko Pop and I'm gonna take his head off because that's the guy Sholo who plays Miguel, and put that on a Johnny Lawrence bottom so I can actually have Miguel Funko Pop. I don't understand. It's like they don't want, like, it's weird. It's like they're not getting the rights to any of the likeness for any of the kids or something. It's
Yeah,
very
could
strange.
be. Yeah.
Um, so that's my Cobra Kai rant because I want more of those Funko Pops. And now they just announced like the show is coming to its final season. I
Yeah.
think there's going to be spin-offs, but it's like it'll be typical Funko. The show's going to be over, the hype's going to be done, and that's when we're going to get all the pops.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
the one other one I did want to mention, like, I like the Proto, the dog pop.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
definitely
I forgot
want
about that.
that. I think that's super cool.
He's
It's
got the
interesting.
blockbuster tape
Yeah,
in his
that's
hand.
what though. The one thing, it's like they're really shoving this down our throats
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
more than I would have thought. Like, he is like, I mean, he's with Freddy in the Wacky Wobbler that comes in the Fun on the Run for everyone who doesn't know. And like,
Yeah.
that's like OG,
And that's like the first
Funko
pop
character.
too, right?
Yeah. First pop. And like, he has a Blockbuster card in his hand. I just find it weird. I still want that one. Um, but it's also interesting, like, you can find this at the Rewind booth, is what it says in like the fine print the image, but it's also going to be on Funko.com, which is cool. But yeah, they're really going hard on that. But I love that one.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree too.
Then we had obviously a couple other, Hot Topic, Amazon, and some show only
Yeah.
stuff that we could talk about. Right off the bat, the Hot Topic stuff, I would say maybe the Tony the Tiger is probably the coolest one that I see, and that's like the OG, like that retro. I remember when that soda, that pop came out actually, as like a Funko Shop exclusive a while back. But that's like the soda version they have of him. They have a DC one. They got a Frodo. They have a bunch of anime stuff. So not like the biggest fans of that stuff. I thought the Johnny Knoxville one was interesting because I didn't know he was ever in WWE ever. Like if he came out.
Was he like in a
character
WrestleMania
or something?
event?
I think they were like special guests or special hosts for a wrestling event, kind of like what they kind of do nowadays. Like they have special hosts for the show, and which is kind of weird too. Johnny Knoxville of all people, but I mean, yeah.
It's just
I mean,
funny.
it's a cool pop. It looks like him, but
it does. But it's like, is his first pop form ever going to be this? Like, there isn't a Jackass pop, is there?
No,
I don't think
I
don't
weird.
think he has one. That's why I thought it was odd. Because I remember seeing it, and I was like, "Oh, cool, Johnny Knoxville, like that's interesting." And I'm like, "What the hell is he wearing?" And then I see it say WWE on the box, and I was like, "That's weird. I didn't even know." Obviously, I'm not like the hugest current WWE fan to know if he did. I'm sure he's appeared. I'm assuming they wouldn't just make him as WWE licensed,
Yeah.
But that was interesting. But how about those show only ones? You a fan of any of those?
The 3-pack of the Powerpuff Girls, of course. And that Freddy, the Blacklight Freddy.
I would want the Freddy if I was at the show. I think
Yeah.
I would. If I was at the show, I'd be like, oh, maybe I get one biddy. I didn't realize they were making 4.
Yeah, like they actually made it like the set. Like we kind of hinted towards that, but we didn't know. And they redid them all.
I find it weird that they're show only, but at the same time, it's like I think those are going to be like they're going to have value in a very strange way.
Yeah,
because if you care about that sort of thing, because I mean, I think they're going to be pretty limited.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be limited. I mean, I don't know. The show only ones are a little weird to me because then 2 of them, obviously, you named the Freddy, and then the Tony the Tiger. They're both just different versions of another comic pop that's coming out, like on the website, essentially. So they did it too. Like they just made it flocked for the Tony, and then they made it blacklight for the Freddy. So it's kind of like, I don't know. To me, that's not like an original. Like obviously, it's cool. You can only get it at the show, but it should be just something completely different. Don't just repaint it or redo something different. That's to me, it's a little lazy.
I do agree with that, and like, I don't know. There's nothing about the Powerpuff Girls, in my opinion, that screams like this is a show only exclusive. Actually, now that you bring that up, like they're kind of weak. Same with like Tony the Tiger. At least like the DC Biddy Pops, like their comic, DC is like OG for Funko. The Freddy, like they've been doing that, I feel like a lot now with the blacklight, but you're kind of right. Like I wish it was like a different Freddy, maybe one that like how they have it sometimes, like he's wearing like con gear or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I mean the Jimi Hendrix one, like really, like
they love
it's
making
weird.
They should have made the Freddy in the toucan suit like flocked or something. Like make that like 1,000.
Yeah, that makes more sense to the con. It's like
okay,
cool.
That should be. I'm sorry, like that should be the con exclusive. I want that pop because it's cool, but why can anyone get that one? But these other ones that have nothing to do with it are show only.
Yeah, it is a bit odd with that. And then actually, no, they did it 3 times. Completely forgot.
Yeah, the Captain Planet one.
The Captain Planet girl, yeah.
It's so dumb.
Diamond version of the regular one.
Why do we need both? Just make it diamond or just make it regular.
They literally did it with 3 pops. I just realized that. Yeah. That's insane that they actually, I don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but definitely let us know. That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's go on to the next stuff. Yeah.
Well, wouldn't it be 4 because of that Disney one, the diamond with the Loungefly bag?
Oh, well, that's also another one. Yeah, we didn't mention
Which
that,
one?
but you're getting Hemlick from Bug's Life You're getting the
Diamond.
diamond edition that comes with the Loungefly bag, but you can get the normal one. They did that last con with Powerline too,
Yeah.
which
So the
is
normal one doesn't come with the bag, right?
And it's not
correct.
Okay.
diamond.
Dude,
Yeah.
Right?
honestly, it's funny because now like, I got the Powerline one for the last con because like I love a Goofy movie, but part of me was just like, they should have just made it only for the Loungefly, and you know what? I wouldn't have gotten it
You got the bag
because
one?
no, I got the normal one
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm not
Okay.
getting the
I was
bag,
gonna say I didn't think you did.
but even if it, I kind of wish I have no problem saying like I wish it was only with the bag. I made it a little more exclusive, and I just wouldn't have had it in my collection, or I would have gotten it later down the road. Like
Yeah.
they think they're giving everyone a chance, which is I like where they're going at with there, but it dilutes the like specialness of it.
Yeah. It's weird. Then we got some kind of new exclusive like stores that are going to be shared. We have Mayor. I'm assuming it's Mayor, but Mayor, whatever how you
Let
say
us
it.
know. None of us are
Yeah,
familiar with this store at all.
yeah. They don't
Mhm.
have them anywhere near us, at least in the Northeast that I know
Nope.
of, and down in Texas, you said they don't
Nope.
either. But we're getting like the Fairly Odd Parents one, so it's a 3-pack. Obviously, this one is like a big one for people. It's got a
Yeah.
lot of hype behind it, a lot of excitement. Um, Obviously you can get it online, like but the shared one is supposedly Charlie was saying they don't even have an online store like this
No.
specific
Yeah.
location, so you have to actually go to the location. I don't even know what kind of store that is. Like, what do they even sell? Like, if you guys will let us know, because who knows? Because they sell stuff at Walgreens, so like it could be that one of those kind of stores, or it could be a bookstore, an electronics store, who knows. Then we have at Best Buy, which is interesting because we haven't had like exclusive stuff that goes to Best Buy. We have a Big Lebowski pop. That one's pretty cool. It's like it's a funny like moment there
A
too. So
tip though to everyone: if you want this Funko Pop, order it from Funko.com. Do not get it from Best Buy because they will throw that in a bag and that'll come
yeah,
crushed.
yeah,
Yeah,
Best Buy is awful
for
with
sure.
The
shipping.
worst. They do
Yeah,
not care.
yeah.
I've gotten a Funko
Not in
Pop
a
from them.
sorter in a bag, which I've gotten from like Hot Topic. It'll
Yeah,
be
Yeah.
no,
just
a
a box in
bag.
a bag.
I ordered a Barry Sanders Funko Pop from them
Yeah,
once and it
same
came
thing.
destroyed.
Mine was not destroyed, but it was damaged a bit. Same one you're talking about.
It's just not, it's not worth it.
Toy Tokyo is always included in these cons. We got like a Tweety. I don't know specifically where that one's from, but it's like with the little hat backwards and the glasses, and then a Bugs dressed as like Fred Flintstone. So those are
Do
pretty
like
cool. So being like it's not a 2-pack though, right? Yeah, they're individual
They're
pops.
individual, yeah.
Yeah, but those are pretty cool. The Walgreens one, I don't even know what that is. It's
It's a
probably
It's a
something.
DC
it's a
character.
DC
A DC
character, yeah.
character, yeah. So not too crazy.
Nothing to write home about.
But GameStop's got some stuff I think you like, Charlie, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped for GameStop. I'm pumped for Short Round from Indiana Jones, which people have been wanting this pop. It's been leaked a while ago because we knew this was coming. Like, where is it in the common release? So we finally got it. I'm pumped for that. And I'm pretty pumped for the Rita one too, even though it's kind of random that like
Yep.
we're getting a Power Ranger Funko Pop and it's just Rita that they decided to
Mhm.
pick, even though I do collect Power Rangers and I have most of them. So I do want to get this one, but I do find it an interesting choice, but also makes me feel like Power Rangers are coming back strong for Funko.
Yeah.
And then we got the Transformers, which it's interesting we're getting a 2-pack,
Every
but
time we get Transformers.
they always kind of look the same. There's too many. I like Transformers, but it's something that I just can't collect. And then we're getting MODOK from this pop is terrible from Quantum Mania. This is gonna sit on like GameStop shelves for eternity,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I think a lot of
And
those will.
the other one is like a Ghost Rider, I think from that one of the video game, the Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, the
then
game.
I do not know what that other one is.
That
So
last one's in Inuyasha, actually, was a pretty
okay.
popular anime. So I don't think they really had pops in a long time. So it is probably something that'll be pretty popular. It glows in the dark and everything too. So that's kind of cool. But not something we necessarily go after. But I think that'll be something people get excited for that are into that at least.
Yeah.
But what about that last page, Trae? So we got Target, FYE, Entertainment Earth, Box Lunch,
Yeah.
anything on there?
I I might try for the Velociraptor hatching. That one's pretty cool.
No, it's cool.
The Reptar from
Reptar.
FYE.
Yeah, that Reptar
sick.
soda.
And Carly's already told me she wants that 2-pack. So from Box Lunch.
Yeah.
So that's I have to get that.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say the 001 guy, obviously from Stranger Things, would be
Stranger
something
Things.
that I really want. The Reptar for sure, like you said, that thing is pretty fire.
Mm-hmm.
The Leia, I know is something probably Charlie definitely
Yeah,
will be
I
going
do want
after
that
because
one. Yep.
we did speak about that one. And dude, there's the Jimi Hendrix. So every pop that's coming out show only is duplicated.
Ugh.
Yeah.
They're coming out with the regular Jimi Hendrix versus the black
Wild.
light.
I didn't
That's
even realize
insane.
that.
I didn't either. Wow, what a waste. That's so bad.
Also, too, like I didn't realize this, but it's funny. Our friends over at New and Old Funko Pop Unboxings, they shared that if you've seen Thor: Love and Thunder, that character her name is Love, but they put on the box Gore's daughter instead of Love, which I find super weird. And no one wants this pop anyway either.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why we're still making, like, maybe these have just been so, I hate to be negative, these have been so far in production, but like everyone hates this movie. You can
Yep.
still go into, like, we joke all the time. We go to our Targets, there's no Funko Pops. The Thor: Love and Thunder pops I can buy if I want
Yeah.
on clearance. And it's just like, it's wild to me how there's two from this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an odd one for sure.
It should have been a
So
2-pack, in my opinion, though. It should have been
yeah,
a
that makes
Thor
sense.
and her, but I need
So
to page.
definitely an interesting like set of pops. Like there's some stuff that we're like, holy crap, it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And it is definitely the complete opposite of the spectrum where it's just like that looks kind of like garbage. And then there's a lot of like, well, why are they making this? Why not? You know, so it's a mix of stuff. The 20th will be July 20th, which is Thursday. Obviously the first day of San Diego Comic-Con. That's when these are gonna be going on sale. So you know, look out for them and the time and stuff when they come up. Again, you can get them all through Funko, so they sell out obviously. Then you have a chance to get them as well through whatever shared retailer if they have an online store or going physically to the store. I know Trae's still old school and likes to physically go to the store and get stuff, so maybe he still can.
Maybe.
Over here it's not as easy. But let us know some of your favorites definitely down below. What do you like from this con? Are you excited about the con overall? Some of your favorites that, you know, or some things you don't like, or what you wish, you know, they did make, whatever. Please make sure to do that. This will also be a good moment to let you guys know, definitely like this video for us because we really appreciate it. Subscribe to all of our channels, subscribe to this channel, definitely like it and comment, like I said, as always. The next thing we want to get into though is Fun on the Run. Mostly because obviously it was a cool event, and two, because we have somebody who actually physically went to one of the events because he lives in Texas. We unfortunately up here in the Northeast had no shot of doing that unless we wanted to make a big trip, which we didn't. But we did all get, I think, Trae, you got the online box too, right? Or you didn't?
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Yeah,
so we all did get the online box option, which of course we know the biggest thing of that was that you had the flash pop and then a chance of the reverse flash chase. But the actual the actual event, which spanned across from Nashville all the way over to San Diego. Trae, you went to somewhere in Texas, El Paso, I believe, right?
Yes. I went to the El Paso event, drove 10, 11 hours from where I live.
Did his own Fun on the Run trip.
Yeah, basically. Honestly, like leaving from where I live, it's like by the water, by the beach, and then going to a side of Texas I've never even been to. I've only gone to like Houston, Dallas. I've never gone to the west side of Texas, and seeing all the mountains and all that other stuff was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
But the actual event, honestly, like I know some people were kind of hating on it because it wasn't like all this protos and all these extra give. I mean, they gave away stuff. I recorded some of it. That video will be coming out whenever I have time. 'Cause I'm still unpacking. But it was fun. You know what I mean? Like, got to see free Funko. You know, got to talk to a lot of people, meet a lot of people, and then obviously the box was the one thing that everybody wanted. Some people were buying cases of,
What?
yeah, you can buy. I think there was an unlimited, or maybe there was a certain number you can buy, but people were buying cases of these,
Wow.
which was
So they didn't tell you there was a limit, essentially. They
they
weren't
didn't
like, oh,
tell
you
me.
have to do this. Okay.
Yeah, no, they
Wow.
said you can whatever you want. You want to get 20, you can get 20. I was like, wow.
Now, do you think that's because of the amount of people they felt it out? Like, oh, because I think I remember that first day, everyone was saying like there was a lot of people, and then they realized like they had more boxes than
Yeah,
obviously the
I think
people.
that's what it
So,
was too. Yeah.
so you think that's kind of just like the way it was?
Yeah, I think after the first event, people kind of saw that, there wasn't as many, or obviously some of the items people don't want, don't really
Yeah.
care for, other than the Chase Freddy.
Hmm.
Um, so I think after the first two events, they were kind of like, okay, you can buy whatever you want. And like I said, there was like groups of six buying a case each.
I hate that. I'm sorry.
Wow, I'm surprised they did that. Like,
That's a
not
bad
making
look
it
on
two, three,
Funko.
whatever. Yeah, if they have a couple extra, sell some. But yeah, to do that, that's a little. That
I
to me,
think they
that's
should have
surprising.
maybe like, I mean, obviously because when I went, I thought there was going to be a lot more people because when I woke up early, well, I got into El Paso and I was like, okay, let me just check. I got into town. I was like, let me see if anybody's in line because some places they were getting in line the day before.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I got there. Obviously, the temperature was like 110. Ain't nobody gonna stay outside in 110. So nobody was there. And then when I get there in the morning, maybe like 40 people were in front of me. And I got there like kind of late, really, like at
Wow.
6 o'clock. So everybody showed up afterwards, and then they handed out the wristbands at 7:30. And I think they should have maybe sold one to each person and then maybe have them get back in line.
I
But
agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, yeah,
That would make more sense. So it
Did
was
any
like people in front of you literally just buying multiple before they got through the line,
yeah,
essentially. Yeah, that's
yeah.
crazy.
I
People
mean,
were
did
buying.
anyone get turned away?
No, because after
Okay.
everybody got their wristbands, there was like another batch of people started lining up at the end once everybody was going through. And then they even said too, I think you can go back. But it was too hot for anybody to go back in that line because it was starting to get long again, and I wasn't gonna wait that long.
Yeesh. Yeah, yeah. I thought that was an interesting thing with like the where they decided to make these cities that like they literally went across Texas for the most part into Oklahoma, like and right now in the middle of summer, like it
Yeah.
just did like Nashville was maybe like okay, cool, maybe it's hot down there now, but like go through tech, like you said, the middle, like El Paso and those places over there
Yeah,
that are like just deserty and just like straight heat.
yeah. It's a different heat from where I'm like. So it's usually humid. So as soon as you walk out the door, you're sweating. Over
Yeah,
there, it was just like a dry heat. When you were in
yeah.
the shade, it felt good, but once that sun was hitting you, oh my gosh. That's why I wear dry fit. I was like, I ain't wearing nothing else because dry fit, at least I'll feel cool. But yeah.
That's crazy.
That's so funny. So, but I mean, I know we talked a little bit for everyone to hear. You were happy you went. Like it was worth.
Yeah.
Like you would do it.
Honestly,
Would you do it again?
if they did it again, yes, I think I would. Um, Getting to meet some of the people from a different part, from obviously a different city is always kind of cool. Um, Maybe if they came a little bit closer, it wouldn't be so bad. So would waste
Yeah.
so much gas. But honestly, like I would do it again. Definitely would do it again. I know, like I said, some people were kind of like, well, I wouldn't drive 2 hours, but I mean, if you really want the product and you just want to have fun with it and just experience a Funko event, I think it's definitely well worth it.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a cool way to do it too. Like you drove across the state,
Yeah.
you got to see some stuff. Like I know some people obviously that like flew down to some of the
Yeah,
cities and it's like, you obviously do the event and you get whatever you get, but like you kind of get a little bit more out of it. I feel like when you make it like a road trip and I mean
yeah,
it's like literally what the whole box is kind of.
Is.
right.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
it's kind of
crazy
cool.
too because I don't remember his name on Instagram, but there was a group of guys, like probably like 4 or 5 guys. They are literally doing the whole Fun on the Run. They started in Nashville. They're
Oh
going to
wow.
every single event.
That's pretty wild. And it's every day. Well, yeah, it was every day,
Every
right?
like every
That's
other
Or every other
day.
day, something like
crazy.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty
and
nice.
that's
That's a
because
lot of commitment.
there's a lot of commitment, and from what I've read, a lot of those guys are part of the. I don't know. Some of them were part of that whole Funko Hollywood drama about getting
Mm,
spent, but honestly, like I didn't see anything wrong with it. I mean, they're spending their money going
yeah.
to everything, so they didn't seem like bad people from what, because I remember seeing them on Instagram and I was like, saw them in person. I was like, oh,
So funny.
yeah,
Definitely interesting, huh?
yeah,
But yeah, a pretty cool event. Like at first we were kind of like didn't know what to think about it. I know we were all kind of confused, like what is the point of this, whatever. But I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, like I said, I still have the box. I haven't opened my online box. We luckily have an amazing friend in Trae
Yes.
who actually, if you've noticed, has a few boxes back there. So I believe Charlie as well. We're gonna have some boxes. So I'm waiting to open mine because I want to open them together and make it like a whole big thing. But yeah, I'm excited for it. Obviously, as you can see in the back as well, Trae pulled that Batman, of course,
yeah,
which is super
Just
fire.
sick.
Um,
yes,
but yeah, cool thing with the box, like what they did with it, mixing up a couple different products and stuff. So it's a cool little idea. I think it's still for sale, honestly, online too, probably because they've made a lot of them. And someone commented on one of my videos as well, and made sense that like this was like the wrong time to do so much stuff. Like they're dropping so much in a week where it's like you could only spend so much money, like
Yeah.
so
right,
you got to kind of pick and choose with certain things. And I think like which we'll talk about later, like NFTs dropped and those, and so and then we have the two different boxes, and then we have the actual con drop. So it's a lot of stuff coming out this week.
yeah,
But yeah, that was a cool fun on the run. I'm glad that we had somebody who actually went to one of the events. So that's
yeah.
interesting to get your take on how that went.
They gave out
Um,
pretty cool hats. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
See,
So
that's
we
yeah,
were
that's
cool.
pretty cool.
kind of wearing
Yeah.
the hat.
Yeah, you can get
Posters,
that pop
stickers.
at the SDCC because they're making that pop.
Yeah, I need to get it now to match with the hat.
You have to get that pop.
Yeah.
It's just funny though. I really feel like it's funny you bring that up, that someone commented on a video about like too much coming out at once. They should have just made this theme, in my opinion, Fundays. 25th
Mhm.
anniversary. You still could have even done this event and did end it with the con. And that's when you could get the box. Maybe throughout the actual road trip part of it, they made like those ones that they put online, like the Garfield soda,
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
like,
Yeah, because they did have exclusives
yeah, which
technically.
were so random and dumb, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And like that's what could have been like, you could only get these at the event, and then the box. I just feel like it's weird that this was too much. This should have been a different part of the year to kind of spread the love.
Hmm.
Because as we just said earlier in the episode, some of the quote unquote mascots or themes of this event are exclusives at San Diego Comic-Con. So why
Hmm.
not just make that the theme?
Hmm.
Let us know what you think about that. It just, to me, that seemed like a no-brainer. I think they just wanted to make more money.
yeah.
Of course.
Which I
And they're
get.
out, and they probably still have an excess of these boxes. I'm assuming they don't
I'm.
sell out. I don't think any of the events have like
I don't think
sold
any
out.
of them have sold out. To be honest, when
Yeah.
I left, they still had pallets.
Yeah, they had to have made so many of these. Um, but we'll go to the next thing, which you kind of hinted towards was another box, is the Fundays box. So we got a little bit more official news on this. So Friday, July 21st is when it will be dropping, 9:30 on the Pacific time, 12:30 over here in our East Coast time, 11:30 for Central people. So very excited for this box. And the more that I started seeing it, and now we get the mascots, we got the names, and then we got like a picture, and now we actually see what the actual mascot looks like and what the pop's gonna
Oh
look
yeah.
like, which is super sick. We'll flash it up here like we always do with the video version. But of course, the mascots again, we have the eagle, we have a lumberjack, we have wolves, and we have bear. Um, I think they look sick. I definitely like them all. I like some more than others. Wolves is probably my number one for sure. And then the lumberjacks, I would say. But they all look awesome. The details, if we didn't go over them last time, you get obviously the pop mascot in your box. You're gonna get 2 sodas, which are gonna be numbered and exclusives, and you're gonna get 3 pops. Now, if it's like past boxes, the 3 pops will obviously be Freddy, exclusive Freddy's. And last time we got sodas in a box, there were also some exclusive Freddies. So I'm assuming that maybe they'll do something like that. I'm still very, very surprised that we have zero
No
leaks
It's
on
insane.
anything in this box. Besides, now we finally got the announcements of the mascots, and I guess those are technically leaks because I don't think Funko's page has put that picture up. Did they? I don't think so.
No.
They've only talked about the event essentially,
Yeah,
and like the mascot like patches or whatever, but not the actual pops, which we've
no,
seen
they
on other
did in a
pages.
video. Mike made one of his famous videos,
Uh, oh God.
which it's so funny. Just to talk about that real quick. Someone I know, I just had to read the comments for fun, and some people were like, "This is something at this point that Funko really needs to change their stitch, like with this." And I kind of do maybe agree, like
Mhm.
their whole West Coast like vibes and how Mike and it's just not it's cringe.
Yeah.
Kind of talked about this before. Like
Yeah.
they maybe need to change it up a little bit because like people just aren't finding it funny anymore.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like awkward sometimes, and like I don't know, but I mean we'll talk about some more stuff
Yeah, yeah.
in a bit about
I
kind of
forgot.
connecting to this as
Yeah.
well. But just strictly about the box, like definitely something that we're all excited for. Obviously, I'm assuming we're all going to go. And the box itself is cool. It's like a bus.
Yeah.
So like the design of it is really cool. You have like people in there. So I did want to say this because I don't know if you guys saw, but I put up like a poll on
Yes, I
my
did.
page to kind of ask like what are people going for and whatever. And right now it's based off of just people who follow me and happen to comment, it's 67% are wolves, which is pretty
Well,
high. And then it's 11% eagles, lumberjacks, and bears, all tied. Like in terms of numbers, I've only got 9 votes right now. 6 of them went with the wolves and 1 apiece for the other ones. So
I'm the lumberjack.
kind of surprised though that it went like that. But me myself as well, I'm most excited for the wolves. Lumberjack looks sick. The eagle's really cool. The bear I think was like my least favorite one, but like they're all pretty awesome. And I'm just excited for these damn pops and sodas. Like, what are they going to be though? We're on Monday right now. We're filming this, and we have no idea as of right now.
I'm like so pumped for this box, and I actually think since they've been doing the online versions, this is hands down the best one. Which
Yeah.
I kind of is ironic because like rewind a few episodes ago, we were kind of ripping the camp theme when we first saw that image, and now I'm like, oh wow, I can eat my words. Like this is sick. I love the design of the box, even though I mean the design is actually pretty similar to the online version of the Fun on the Run.
Yeah, the bus.
And like I like the little detail of Brian being one of the people on the bus, which is funny, which we will also, like we said, talk about a little bit later. And I like that we're getting the sodas now. So this is kind of we've never had a Fundays box where you get sodas. It's the Halloween one was the first one.
Oh, the Halloween one,
Sodas were
yes.
included, which I guess is considered like the same type of thing. But so even though we just kind of were talking about what's going on with sodas, but maybe they'll just keep them more special and premium. Like I'm happy we're not getting rewind in this. They kind of kept that to the 25th anniversary Fun on the Run stuff. But I even like all the mascots. Like I would say my least favorite is the eagle, but I like it. Like just because my least favorite is just, and I mean, but I actually really like the bear, and I like the lumberjack and the wolf. Like I think they're all cool. Like I'd be happy with any of them.
Yeah.
Which I can't say I've ever said that before.
Because usually some of
I
them are
agree.
like you can tell which one's going to be the better one out of
Yes.
all of them, or the better looking one compared to
which
the rest.
sit. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can tell which ones are not going to be as popular. But I like all of them as well. Obviously, I'm probably more favored for the lumberjacks because of
Just put some
beard.
glasses on.
Yeah. But definitely I do like the bear as well. I mean, they're all cool, but I probably will be going for the lumberjack just to.
And I think I had sent you the numbers. It's like what 6,000.
500, I think,
per.
Yeah, per like individual.
Which is that a
one.
lot or not compared to usual? Do you know?
what was the last year's Blacklight
I
one?
don't remember.
What
I
was it
feel
on
like it's
the?
similar because the
Yeah.
total number is what, that's like 20
25, I think they had said.
26,000 or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So in that case, I feel like that's kind of what we usually get.
26 just seemed, I don't know, that seemed like more, but maybe
Does a
it's
bit,
just
right?
not.
Yeah, I'm not
What was
positive.
on the last?
So,
What was last year's numbers? Like on that Darth Maul
I know I
when they
oh,
had
tried
the
to like
actually,
background truck.
well, I have, okay, so I
Oh yeah.
have
Oh yeah.
Freddy
that was a 4,000 piece.
4,000. 4,000.
I don't have a mascot by me.
Yeah, the mascot. Well, yeah, 4,000 wasn't the mascot number though. I forgot.
Yeah.
And then Box of Fun was 3,000. I have a 3,000 piece, but those were because we had more limited with the Freddies.
Yeah.
But the actual my mascot, I have them in the closet somewhere, like the blacklight.
And I guess some of these also
clown I
include
got.
the actual event is within that number.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
just what's online.
So it's gonna be interesting to see what sells. It's always like cool to see like, oh, which ones are selling faster and how many can you get two like per household? That's like the technically what the
Well,
Yeah.
it's
is
weird.
it like that or no?
It says one
remember.
per household.
Okay.
But this was debate last year, I remember, and it worked for some people. You could get all four
Really?
because it's not the same.
So it was like per
That's what they did for
SKU
the
basically.
Fright Night.
Yeah, people did
You
that.
can get
and it
one of
bothered
each.
me.
But you have to
Yeah.
get them separate transactions or whatever.
No, because it's not the same SKU. Like
Oh, it
it's
still lets
no.
you get in one transaction.
Yeah.
yeah. It
Oh,
just
I
it
didn't
was
realize.
I don't know how people I think people use bots. Like I remember the blacklight one, it was really hard to get. Like I'm happy I got
Mhm.
one.
Mhm.
But we also I remember us talking about this. We went into the assumption that when it said one per household, it was one box. And then people were bragging that they bought all four.
Yeah.
Oh,
There
it's
wasn't
always a
that
way
one
to
guy that got
around the
all
system.
like the
Yeah.
bad
The
tops
same
or
stuff.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the Freddies were all like the
That's
same and
that's
stuff.
what he gets.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I do hope, as in like the Fun on the Run boxes, everything's in that plastic tray.
Yeah, which is
So I
sick.
know we've had issues with the Fright Night one where the packaging, the soda is obviously damaged. A lot of the pops.
Yes, that's true.
I'm hoping if the bus is gonna look the way it is, maybe the sodas are in that front part where it's kind of
Yep.
smaller.
Yeah.
That would be
And maybe, like I
perfect.
said, they use that plastic tray like they did in the Fun on the Run because that protects
Did
everything.
you open your online Fun on the Run?
Mm-hmm.
And did that have a
Yeah.
tray?
Yeah,
Okay.
it had the
So
plastic
they all
tray.
did.
Everything was
Okay.
yeah.
So then yeah, maybe that's the new way they're doing it. And if it is, it would make sense. It would make no sense if for this one now they didn't do that. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely the soda's damaging
But
like
knowing
the pops
Funko,
was a
they
Yeah,
thing.
don't count them out.
They literally just put like sodas on top of the thing, just crushing it. But
Yeah.
but it makes sense, like you said, if it fit right in that little area, that would be the most logical version of doing it. But very excited for that. I mean, I know we all are really excited for this one. This one, I'm probably like the Halloween one. I was so excited because it was like, oh, it's Halloween. It's cool. I love that stuff. But like for a Fundays box, like this one is like really, and especially I think because we don't have any leaks, it's even more exciting.
Exciting.
Now
I
we
agree.
might
Yeah.
start to get them in the next couple of days, but like it's cool that we don't because it's like, what the hell are we gonna get? And we have no idea. But the next thing we want to talk about is some more of a drama based thing. Kind of scares, major news, obviously, with Funko because it has to do with the CEO. So Brian Mariotti recently came out and said that he was stepping away from Funko and being the CEO, stepping down. We don't really have details. We obviously all kind of have our little rumors and what we think and theories and stuff, but I think me and Charlie are kind of like almost on the exact same page when it comes to this. But some other people have other things that I was like, okay, maybe that makes sense as well. But just off the bat, like, what are your guys' thoughts? Like, obviously, it's a big deal whenever a CEO changes, whether it's through like a retirement or through being fired or let go or just stepping down, because it always means a change. It's a big change, obviously. It's a pretty big deal to be the CEO of a company, especially a huge company, and have that be a change. But when it happens this way, sometimes it's a little bit more spicy because it makes you think like, what was going on or why did it leave? Especially now, right before San Diego Comic-Con, ton of stuff happening. But there's been a lot of stuff with Funko in the news, so could all be tied to that as well. I obviously have my theory, but I'll let you guys kind of chime in first
Yeah.
and see what you think.
So the first thing I'll say is I was like, I don't know if idolize is the right word, but like I thought Brian Mariotti, just to say, was the man. Like I would like when he really took over Funko. I don't know if anyone has ever seen like the Funko Making Fun documentary. Like this dude was like, and I've said on the podcast before, like the man of the fans. Like he was one of us. To see his like, in my opinion, tragic downfall, and I'm like laughing because like it's insane. I'm actually even like I do get upset seeing like even some of the pictures of this dude. Like my first one, after I explain, which I know Migs, like he said, we're on the same page. If you haven't already, if you don't follow Mike Becker on Instagram, go follow him and look at the video that he did tasting Eggos with Brian. And that will
Yes.
just says it all.
Kind of sum
I
it
think,
up.
and I hate to say this even on like a record of our podcast, but I think he's having like substance abuse problems. He's probably having other issues. There's been rumors, that he did insider trading. He got busted for that. He's kind of, made a lot of poor business decisions for the company. I do think that's probably why he stepped away a few years ago. And then he said he really just wanted to be involved in the creative side of things, which I do think one thing I always loved about him, he knew how to do both. Like, let's not like kid ourselves here. Like, he wasn't just the creative guy, he was a business guy too. Seemed like he was over that type of stuff when Funko became huge and he wanted to be the Mike, I think, of the company, which he bought from, which is just kind of ironic. And it's just the every bad thing you read about Funko now, it's almost like he's the captain bringing that ship down. And he definitely that was the courtesy, in my opinion, which businesses do this all the time. They wanted to save face, they let him go out with dignity, and they said he was stepping down. I mean, he was told by the board of directors, in my opinion, to leave. Like, go help yourself, man. Go straight. The one thing I do find funny is supposedly he will be at San Diego Comic-Con. So that going to be his last hurrah, and then he'll just go off into the sunset. But it's a really upsetting story. And like the new guy they have in charge, he's a straight up suit. So it shows that they brought this guy in to fix this company.
Now, is it an interim thing though? What's it usually
It
do,
is. It is. But I'm sure if he does well, they'll make him the CEO if he wants the job permanently, or they're gonna start looking. But I wouldn't even be surprised if ultimately another big toy company buys Funko.
That'd be interesting.
It's just a crazy thing, in my opinion. It's upsetting, actually.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a big deal, obviously.
And we could be making this all up, but
yeah, I mean, like,
it's
there's
just
like I'm on the same
feeling.
page with you. Like, we've talked about it, I've hinted towards it. I'm like, what are these? Why does he look like this? Like, he just looks strung out, like his hair and his face. It doesn't look like he was in good. Now again, he could just been stressed and super exhausted all the time when he pops on a video. And not everyone has the life of freaking Mike, who I think is also on another potential, upper. But
whatever the people were on in the 70s,
he's living
and
his
60s.
life. Yeah, exactly. He's still, even though he's kind of crazy and out there, he's he's being him, whatever. But yeah, when it comes to Brian, it's kind of like maybe it wasn't that, and let's say it's not. I think there was a lot of other things, like you said, the insider trading stuff, and like the different lawsuits they got to go through, the stock stuff, it's like just the company in general, because we've spoken about the company so many times when it comes to like where's it going, how it was dropping, losing money, the issues they had with the warehouses and all that kind of stuff. Like a lot of that stuff could have just gotten to him, and it's just stressing him the hell out, and just not something he's having fun doing anymore.
Yeah.
Which was the whole point of Funko, especially being named Funko. It was about being fun and having fun and whatever. And just maybe it's not. The CEO is not an easy thing for anyone
No.
to do with a big company, let alone a company that struggles or has to change, their vision and what they're doing, whatever, to keep pleasing people and making money. So it's interesting, but I do think on our end, the way we looked at it, even before we thought any of this was going to happen, we thought
Oh
there
yeah.
was problems and there was some stuff going down. So
Yeah.
that's just kind of like,
What do
now
you
that this
think, Trae?
happened, we kind of like, yeah.
I mean, you watched. I mean, obviously the making fun video was how many years ago? Like 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
You look at that, and then compared to what he looks like now, it's. I definitely do agree. With what Charlie and what you say. Like, obviously the stress of the job. You're CEO. You have to make all these decisions, and then obviously, a little bit of substance, maybe. Especially after the Ego video,
Yeah,
The
that
Ego
video
that kind
video
of
was
was.
is
rough.
unreal. I can't believe he allowed that to be posted. He was
Yeah, it was
super
rough.
even. Like, he was a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it even could have been more of like I just don't give a fuck about this stuff. Like I just like it. Maybe it wasn't the substance thing.
That's
Maybe it's
true.
just like whatever. I'm
That
over this. And because Mike is on 1,000, you can't even get
all
to
the
10 and
time.
be you can't
Yeah.
even you can't ever be there. Because even when he was fun and like I'm sure when you met him and everything, he was still pretty chill. He was like Brian. He was cool. He was never Mike level. So it wasn't like it was always a difference between the two of them. But that's kind of why they worked. One would be
Agreed.
here and one would be here, but you never felt like one was just completely not in it. Like you didn't think he was out, and this time you did when you see these videos, and it's like, but like I mean, even some of the Mike videos, we see him all the time, and we're like, why is he even making these videos? It's like
I don't.
he's so spaced out in like another world, but you know, let him live. He's still around. So, um, but the Brian stuff is interesting. What's going to happen now with Funko? Like, obviously we knew that initially we were going to see a tank, a bit, well, not even a tank, just like a dip in the stock, because that always happens, the way the market and everything, they just want stability.
Yeah.
So the second that somebody changes, regardless of why they change, it's going to affect it. But does that mean that they're crashing, tanking? No, like they could be still figuring this out. It could go back up. Maybe this new guy, if he ends up taking over full time, is going to be something that they need. If he's a big business guy, like Charlie said, is based off of what he thinks that's kind of like what he is. Maybe on the business side of things, he'll figure things out and we'll have better things that or maybe they'll sell to somebody else, because that's also a big moment when this stuff happens, when other companies try to come in and be like, hey,
Yeah.
let's toss some money at you and come over here. So definitely let us know what you guys think, because I'm interested to see like kind of what the masses think of like what this means, and maybe what your thoughts are as to why this happened, why he stepped away, and what's going to happen with Funko, going forward. It's just interesting that it's happening now, because so much stuff is happening with Funko with this huge con and all these
That's why they did
products that we're talking about. Yeah, like I feel like they did it to kind of, like
Yeah.
you said, Matt, have it happen, swipe it under the rug, and let's continue on with our big stuff. But it is interesting. It's kind of crazy because we're big fans of Disney, right? And it's like I feel like it's it's crazy to see like a CEO leave, come back, and then like leave. And that's kind of like what happened with Disney. Is obviously back again, Iger, but he left.
Yeah.
And he came back, and it's like Brian left, came back, and it's like that's it. That stuff still happens with these big ass companies. It's like they still take
Yeah.
them back. If you're the big name, you can still get back. Well, but hopefully, honestly, with no joking, if there is a serious issue, I do hope he gets
Me
help and
too.
everything's better, because
Yeah.
we're not. It wasn't to be a joke, like, haha, look what's wrong with them. It's just like, if that's what's happening, this is kind of crazy, But
Yeah,
hopefully.
because I'm happy you said that, because it's not a laughing matter. It's just like when we watch these videos, and like I said, like I'm not joking, like I'm a person, anyone who knows me, like I'm very interested in CEOs of companies I love, and I do read and research a lot about them, and I do idolize a lot of them. And he definitely was one of those people. I mean, he's the one who even had the vision of the pop line. Like Funko is what it is today because of Brian, actually. It's not because of Mike, even though we all love Mike too. And it just to see, like, I really do, I do think Funko is still going to be totally fine, going to come back from this, and we're also going to love it. But it really would be a shame if like the rise and fall of this company was all under the same dude.
Get ready, Netflix, make a documentary. That's the case.
Yeah.
But we'll go on to the next thing here. So it more news, more craziness. We'll kind of just run through this just because, just to mention it. But Funko is currently in the process of suing Big Apple Collectibles. So I know we've spoken about this company. I know we've spoke about them a long time ago, just in terms of like how bad they seemed as a company, this customer service, pre-orders, and people never would get. And I never dealt with them. I always heard about these things and I would always step away. But what was interesting is you ever looked online or pre-orders, whatever, they were always a page that popped up. And I had so many, whether it's personal friends or just followers and people that follow my page and Pop Megs, they would come to me and say, like, hey, have you ever heard of Big Apple Collectibles? Should I get this pop? I see that this one's here. And I literally would always say no. I never bought through them, but I would always just be like, nah, I'd rather go through this company or this page is better. And needless to say, like, the company just went under and they did some shady stuff, and they clearly were pretty wild because now we're getting a suit from Funko for $492,000, which just seems kind of nuts. But at the same time, like, maybe not. So like, I didn't read too much into the details in the terms of like where this number's coming from, what's going on. But I mean, maybe Charlie know a little more. But
Yeah.
Is this kind of, because obviously this was a company that was a distributor, they would buy stuff off of Funko and then they had their own site and they would, sell these products to people. Now, was this company like, was Funko fronting them stuff and then like they just didn't pay them back because they didn't sell the stuff? Or because I was kind of thinking that, like, how would they send them things without paying? Like, I don't know how that works exactly when it comes to the big box.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
retail it.
typically can still send you the stuff and you're supposed to pay them. It's no different than, like, I guess if you're behind on rent or paying your mortgage, it ultimately comes to a point where you can no longer do that and your house gets repossessed, or
Yeah.
you get, the slip where they kick you out of your building.
Yeah.
It's kind of basically, I think, what happened here. And for it's going under the radar. Funko's dealing with tons of different, POs, purchase orders they're sending to these different companies. And the one thing I'm pretty sure that Big Apple Collectibles do, which is shady, which is why I would never like them, is they were getting your money up front because you had to pay for that shit when you pre-ordered it, even though you weren't getting it. To me, we've said this before, that is a huge red flag. Do not buy from any store that takes your money up front and you don't see something for months on end. So that's how they were keeping that business rolling, because they were making all this money. And I'm sure now with the Funko craze, unless you're, one of us in the community, is, we've said before, is not as big anymore. They were making less money to the point where they were donezo, but they've definitely screwed. They probably haven't fulfilled their commitment to Funko, and Funko's like, what the hell? Because it also makes Funko look bad in a weird way, because some people they don't realize they have nothing to do with each other. It's just the retail store the online retailer that they were going through.
Yeah.
It's just a messed up situation.
Do you
and
think
you
it was
want
also because of the exclusives they had? Because they had their own exclusives.
They
as
did.
well.
I actually, because it's funny, I have one of them, which really, though,
Batman,
I bought
right?
it from Amazon. I have a Black Adam one, which is,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I want to get this
I don't
Black
think I
Adam
have
one
any.
before the movie comes out. And like, that was dumb because no one cares.
Dude, you could have bought it at Five Below, probably.
Yeah, probably. It was weird that they had exclusives, but I think it's funny. I'm happy you bring that up, Trae, because I actually think that makes them seem more legit, though, too.
Yeah.
Like, if Funko's giving you your own exclusives, that means you have to be legit, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Well, I
it's
feel like people would talk about them when they would be in the same sentence as like Entertainment Earth. Like, it was a big company that you knew Funko did some type of business through, and they had some exclusives, and they were a great way to get pre-ordered products or whatever. But I just never heard positive things. And I think even they were the company, if I'm not mistaken, that was just like shit in the bed, and then like had a change in like leadership, and they were like supposedly doing these changes, and then look what just happened. Like, clearly it was not at all a change.
Yeah.
I
And
also
I
don't
just
see.
always steered people away from them. I always did.
There's also so many options, and I may be the minority in this, but like, they're not a small business where you feel good about supporting them anyway, where it's like, just don't go through a company like that. I know you want to hate on the Targets and the Walmarts of the world, but at least you know you're gonna get the stuff you order from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna get your money back.
Exactly.
Like in the right way. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
that's clearly the big issue with people is that they maybe didn't know, and they did all these orders, and then they just were just ghosted. They never got money or product. So it's kind of like, what the hell are you doing? And it's just like, we've seen it happen on a smaller scale with people
Yeah.
on Instagram and pages and stuff. We've talked about that a lot. But on a bigger scale like this, it's like, dude, $500,000 just, now what are you gonna do? Now this company is like, they clearly either have the money somewhere, they got to figure this out, or they have no money that they couldn't pay this, and now they're totally screwed because
Yeah.
this massive company is coming after you, and you're gonna have to figure this out. It's probably gonna get settled, something's gonna get figured out, but it's just nuts that this is all kind of happening at the same time as the whole, information with Brian and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely nuts, for sure. But a couple things here that we can end on, a few more positive, fun type things, I guess you could say. We could talk about NFTs real quick, just because I know we always mention them, but the Stranger Things one was obviously the most recent drop. I did want to talk about it mostly because of this was one of the ones that didn't sell out. It's happened a few times, not every time, but it has happened a few times. They made 100,000 packs, which was probably what I think one of the biggest reasons. 75,000 standards, which is crazy that it was that many standard packs, and then 25,000 premium packs. That's just way too many. And I think coupled with the fact that all this stuff was dropping, within the same week or two, I think that just kind of affected all that as well. I think Stranger Things has a big enough following that this was a popular set for sure, but I think just did way too many packs. And I just think it was just kind of nuts. I know I grabbed a bunch. Charlie, you grabbed some. I don't think you got any, Trae, right?
Yeah, I didn't get any. I was going to El Paso when that happened.
Oh, yeah, that was that day, true.
Like,
but what are your thoughts, Charlie? Because I know
way too many packs. They think they're doing us a favor as fans, which I do appreciate, but it's just way too many. And it kind of, but here's what's weird though. And sometimes I'm like, is Funko doing this on purpose? Because if you buy secondhand off of Atomic Hub, they get a percentage of that. And I mean, the FOMO is real for this, which we were talking about this offline, but this happened with House of Dragon. It's like, I don't know, this just goes against my core. I could have gotten these as many as I wanted. I'm not gonna pay, like, the packs are now up to like $55 for a premium. Like, I would just not pay. My principals cannot buy that, knowing I could have just got it for retail no matter what. It's not the same as like the Dark Knights that sold out and you could only get an X amount, where like this drop, even though it is sick, it's just crazy now. And like the FOMO is real. The epics for this set are insane. They're like 15 to $20 each, and there's 15 of them.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Pricey.
Yeah, that's pretty pricey.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And it sucks because it's like, I usually try to gauge drops, over time, because it feel like right away there's always that FOMO, like you said, the prices are a certain amount. And then there'll be a little bit of time where they kind of do dip, and you can probably buy into them a little bit more, a little cheaper. People are trying to get rid of them, and then towards the end they kind of raise back up again when people are trying to get the royalty, get the set. But like, I don't know, like I'm funny because when I'm selling, obviously I have duplicates and stuff, and trying to get rid of them just to get some wax. I literally will go on, I'll see what the cards are selling for. I'll see whoever has the least. Like if it's selling for 10-20, I'll put it for 10-15 or 10-10, because I just want to get rid of it and whatever it is. And like, I always thought it's funny, like this is totally off topic on just this drop, but don't you ever think it's crazy, like when you'll go look at a thing and it's like $14, everything's $14, and then someone will have it for like 50. Like, it's like, what? Like, who's gonna buy that? Like even the grails, like some of the grails will be 300, 350, maybe 4, and then someone will have it for like $800-900, and you're like, you really think someone's gonna buy that? Like, that's crazy.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I always thought that was so weird, but I'm always just like, get rid of the card when I make it a little cheaper. So if they're a higher price, I'm like, all right, cool. So at least everyone's selling it for this. So if I sell it for a little bit cheaper, I'm still gonna make some money out of it. But I'm just worried because this is a royalty that I really want this Freddy. And I have a good chunk of like 80-ish something percent. But I'm missing a few decent amount of the epics, and like you said, they're pricey right now for each one. And like I even pulled, it's so crazy. Like if you guys watch my video, I pull it. I don't know if you know because I don't say it during the epics, but I pulled 5 of the same epic, which is insane. I'm
Insane.
like, of course, I pulled 5 of it. So now, like, I've sold them like a little bit here and there, but it's just crazy. I was like, I wish I got the other ones because now they're even getting more pricier. But yeah, it was an interesting drop because it's also worrying me now because it was on that list of those sick ones that we were so excited for, that the other drops are going to be the same, and they're going to just go ham on these packs because at the end of the day, they know they're making so much money off this, I'm sure, and they're going to sell these packs whether they sell it or not. They're selling thousands of them. So, like you said, if they're getting a cut of Atomic Hub, they know they're going to get more money back anyways,
Yeah.
with all these extra, like, people reselling them. It's just interesting that like they've made that many. I hope they never do a drop that big because, like you said, it's cool because, like, yeah, now people can get packs, but there's a number that they can get to where it's like, okay, this is enough people get packs, but it could still sell out over a little bit of time because a couple hours later, you still have freaking almost 30,000 packs. That's just insane. That's almost an entire drop. Like we've had drops that have only been that amount total.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely
One thing
crazy.
that's crazy though too, which I've never run into this problem, and I don't know if this is normal because we see people get tons of packs. Shout out to my cousin Anthony, big supporter of all of us. He went ham on this. Like he is like a Stranger Things completionist. He has basically every Stranger Things pop ever made. It
Wow.
wouldn't let him buy more. He kept going back in, and once he got, I think, 12 premium packs it was, they told him you can no longer buy anymore.
Really?
Yes. And
I've never
he
seen that.
lost his shit because he's like, you're telling me I can't buy something that isn't selling out?
That's so weird. See, so Dark Knight was the most I've ever bought, and I bought 12 premium packs.
Okay.
And I could have swore I could have gotten more, but I don't remember. I can't be, being honest, because then it did sell out. But for this one, I did what did I do? 8 or 9 premium packs. But then I got 8, and then I got 6 standard packs now, which was completely different. And I could have kept going back and getting more, but I don't know if it would have stopped me at like that number, like you're saying, because I was just like, I don't need to get that many. But that's weird if it does that because we obviously know people who get more packs. Now, again, obviously you could buy them in the aftermarket and not necessarily during the drop, but
Or
Unless
they
they
have
have multiple
multiple
accounts. Yeah.
yeah, and I was gonna say because people do post stuff right away. Like you'll go and like open packs and then or buy packs, and then if you go into Atomic Hub, people are selling packs like already. Like it's freaking so fast how much they post some stuff or posting the grails and legendaries and stuff.
It's just so funny though too. It's talking about like making multiple accounts, doing this. Like, if you want to do that, like in like the ethical way, like I'm all totally fine with that. Like, I'll be the first to admit, like my wife, she gets into the NFTs with me. She has an account too, so we both try to get them. But we're not like going totally ham. There's some people who are clearly doing shady stuff that like drop like supports, which, like, not to put drop on blast, but like I don't really like that. Like I know they have featured certain creators that we all know and love to hate who rip open mad packs. And like if drop is telling legitimate people that they have a limit that they can't buy, but they willingly know these other people are like finagling their way to get as many packs as possible, and then like sharing their stories and saying it's awesome watching you rip open these packs. Like I'm just like thinking about this in the moment right now. That like kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
And maybe I mean I'm wrong in saying that, but it's kind of weird.
No, I totally agree if that's the case. I just never knew that there was this limit thing.
I didn't
That's
know
why I
there was
was
a limit
actually,
either. Yeah.
because I've never really seen anyone say anything like that or like have that be an issue. And I mean, obviously, even when we get like, if we're being honest right now, you're not going to be able to go in on one device, buy packs, get back in the queue, buy packs, and get like a
Yeah.
lot of packs. It's just really usually not going to happen. So you do have to use multiple
Yeah.
devices and stuff. Like I do that just because some randomly happen to be 1 minute and some have 10. So like obviously it really depends. But then if you're going through and you're buying them legitimately, whatever, that's fine. But if you have like multiple packs and like there is a limit to your, I mean, multiple accounts, and there's a limit to your account and you're getting ones, then yeah, that gets a little shady, especially if you're being kind of like, good job on it. And like that's kind of messed up. But I never knew that was a thing. I don't know if anybody else has had run through that issue besides Anthony, obviously, like you said, let us know because I really haven't. I feel like I would have seen someone maybe say something
I
about that.
agree. When he told me that, I was pretty surprised, and like I hope he didn't make a mistake and we're talking about this now, but like when he brought it up, like I was pretty like surprised about it, and I just was like,
Uh,
this is crazy. Because the other thing though, too, talking about making too many packs, here's why Funko doesn't care. Like the cost them, it's not like they made too many product in their warehouse. Like these are
yeah,
digital files. Like it doesn't matter. They're probably going to
yeah.
keep making enormous amounts of them. And if they don't sell, they know we're going to keep coming back. It doesn't make them look bad, but there's that opportunity for them to sell.
Do you think it's because maybe he used the same card, like the debit card?
Yes, that will it's funny you bring that up. It kind of said you can no longer buy more with this card. But it wasn't like he was
Ah,
getting like his
Mm,
card wasn't getting declined, it had nothing to do with the bank. It just knew it
yeah.
was the same person. And like
okay.
Anthony,
See
I
that.
don't
See, and
think you care about me
that's
talking about this,
interesting.
but
That's interesting because, like, for the Dark Knight one, like I said, when I got it, so like I did have multiple payment options. Like
okay.
I did put on multiple
Okay.
cards at that point, so I don't know if maybe that's why. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know. Like I said, if someone else has run across this or
Yeah, let
knows
us
or
know.
anything, definitely let us know your experience or if there's a reason to this. Um, but we'll end it with a pretty cool new product that was announced. I feel like this thing was rumored so long ago. We have mentioned that these should be made, and they never were. They kind of go along with the NFTs because they are a similar type product, but they are physically a card, and that is the Upper Deck trading cards, which Funko now is going to get into the goddamn
Yeah.
trading card game, huh? Let's just do it all. Let's do it. So we got is the actual thing like an Avengers one? Is it I know the
Is it
Spider-Man's on the box, but it's like
it's yeah,
Infinity
Infinity
Saga.
it's
Infinity
Infinity
Saga.
Saga.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're getting a Marvel Infinity Saga base box of trading cards. So these are going to be sold in like small packs. I think like $8. And then there's you can get like a case, full case of a bunch of packs, obviously. Like same thing you would do with
Yep.
baseball cards and things like that. But they are, Funko branded. They're gonna have like a Funko Pop looking, kind of like what they do in their t-shirts and stuff, like the picture of whatever the character is. But something kind of interesting that I did not know until me and Charlie were talking about before we got you on, Trae, and you mentioned that there's a chance to get redeemable pops in some of these cards. So essentially they're doing NFT thing, but in physical
Physical form.
form. That's kind of nuts.
Wow.
I mean,
I didn't know. Did you hear that, Trey, before?
I had never heard that before.
Yeah, I didn't either. So that's
I'm gonna get in
kind of
my
cool.
like I think these are super cool. I think this is smart in Funko. It's another thing, like it's not this didn't cost a lot of money to print. I think people, the only thing I've seen a little bit negative, which I was naive in the beginning because I haven't bought trading cards in a long time. Like I didn't think they were expensive for like I think it's $8.99 a pack,
Hmm.
but supposedly that is a lot of money for a pack of trading cards. So some people were kind of like, what the hell? Like this is ridiculous. Funko's being greedy. So if that is the case, it does kind of stink because if they were more online of let's just say what a Pokemon pack of cards or a pack of
Mhm.
baseball cards were, I think these would be pretty big. I know we were kind of talking about before, like the trading card game, especially during the pandemic, like really rose just like Funko. And some may say it's died down, but I still think there's a place for it. And I think it's also a place for Funko collectors because we all say at times like we have no space, like we want these, but like they're still cool. Like to me, like they're gonna be cool to look at, and you just put them in a binder or like
Yeah.
card slabs. Like I think they're
Yeah.
cool, and I hope they do well.
Yeah. I do think they're cool. And it's interesting because we still haven't gotten too much. We only got that one picture that we keep seeing. It's like a big zoomed in. Because I remember when I first saw it, I thought it was a t-shirt.
So
You
did
know
I.
those t-shirt boxes that you
Yep.
get where it's just like just a t-shirt? Because it looks huge. So I'm like,
Yeah.
and then when I saw they were card, I'm like, how big are these goddamn cards? Because that's like the way the proportion just looked weird. So we haven't seen them in hand or what they look like, but then we started seeing like some pictures of a couple of the cards, what they would look like, or the back of the cards. And I believe they're numbered cards,
Yeah.
Like
which
a
are pretty
1,000
cool.
pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's cool because that's like throwbacks to some baseball cards where you get them at a certain one of whatever.
One.
So yeah, so that's really cool. Aspect of it. That obviously started with Marvel, which is a huge thing. I hope this isn't their excuse of not having NFTs in Marvel because
Oh,
Yeah.
they,
didn't
you
think
know,
of that.
yeah, because this basically is literally almost the same thing. You're just getting them in little physical card because there's so
Yeah.
many people that when I tell them and I try to explain NFTs, but in the Funko term, like where it's like there are these trading cards, you open up like packs with their NFT digitals, and then you can redeem them for a physical. It's always kind of confusing because they always try to compare it to like trading card, regular physical cards.
Yeah.
And this now will be that where you're getting physical cards and whatever. And even if they don't have that redeeming thing, like I still think it was a cool idea to do this because people collect cards regardless of what kind they are. Cards have always been something that has been around since forever ago. And they still are popular, like you said. Even Pokemon and some of the sport ones now are still popular. But if they have a redeemable option to it, that's also pretty sweet. But then, like, do you give the card back? Do you get
So
like,
funny.
how's that gonna work?
I was
Like,
telling my wife about that, and she's like, "What do you do?" I'm assuming there'll be some type of unique code, like
a
the
QR
first
code or something.
a
that
QR
you
code, or
scan
like
in,
the first thing I think about is like, I mean, I don't know if any gamers out there, like sometimes when you pre-order a game, you may get like a pre-order bonus, and it's like a digital code.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the route they could go.
It's interesting. It also kind of makes me think like, how will these do? Are they going to be popular? Are they going to sell? Especially like you said with the price point, because it is a little pricey for cards, but like, how's that going to go? And then secondly, like, will that affect NFTs? How are they going to go together? Like, it's so weird that we can kind of make the correlation that we have sodas, which we loved, and then they come out with these goddamn rewinds, and then we love NFTs, and now they're coming out with trading cards. And it's just like, and it's something that we wanted before too.
Are they going to be individually, or are they selling by the box? Because I saw that they were going to sell the box.
They're going to be individual packs of
retail is going to be like $189.
Yeah. Then there's individual one, which is like $8.
Yeah,
which I think is like 10 cards or 12 cards, something like that. Yeah.
More information's been coming out from all different accounts. Funko has not come out and officially said anything about this yet.
Yeah.
No.
But it leads me to believe, like, could these be a little more pricier because they're the first ones that are San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, and then we come out with other ones? Because I even look at it like, I feel like I could have a ton of fun doing this with my son, but not at $130 a box.
Yeah, like a whole box. Yeah. And they are, by the way, I mentioned it quickly in the beginning, but they are upper deck, like
which is also like legit.
Yeah, which is cool.
Which is interesting that they made a deal with them when they also have the Panini deal.
But I remember us, I feel like mentioning Upper Deck back in the day. And then Panini came out, and I thought we kind of connected that was it. But I always remember that it wasn't originally Panini. And I was confused by that. But then I was like, maybe we just got the card wrong. But yeah, it seems like the Panini was just their way of making like a big pop with a card or whatever. And this is their actual trading cards. And Charlie has been, if you guys listen to us for as long as you have, Charlie's been asking about or saying things about trading cards for a long time. Before NFTs came out, when NFTs came out, when the Panini ones came out, he was always mentioning this. And we even said like the NFT should have, when you get the pop, you should have got the card as NFT, not the picture on the back of the card, right? They make cards now. Like maybe they could start doing that. It'd be a cooler way. I mean, I know people on Instagram that make customs of NFT cards.
Yeah.
That you can give them which one you got and they'll make it for you that goes with your NFT pop. So like it's got to be a way that they can do it. But let's see how these cards go. Definitely let us know if you guys are excited for these because it's definitely a whole nother world that they can get into, like physical trading cards, because that obviously has a huge market. So it's kind of a crazy world right now with Funko, with a ton of positive and a ton of negative. Like
Yeah.
this damn company is so polarizing. It's like
And the
crazy.
limits for these
Yeah.
cards are endless. It doesn't just need to be movies. Like, I think these would be sick for sports, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Well, it's interesting that they didn't start with that. They went that whole Panini route for the pops, but
Yeah.
this would have been like cool to see sports, because I love seeing the Funko the t-shirts are always one of the biggest things that I've always loved, because when you see
Yeah.
the oversized head and eyes, but
It's
it's a certain
cool.
character and it's pop, like that was
Yeah.
always cool. So like makes sense for them to do it with these cards. So let's see how it goes. But yeah, ton of stuff that we covered today. I
Ton.
think we're gonna wrap it up now. There was a lot of great stuff. Very excited for this week. Ton of stuff. If you know don't want to mess with your wallets, this week is not the week to go
No.
online and look at what's dropping, because there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But very excited. And again, like always, Trae, we really appreciate you coming on. Thank you for definitely joining us. I'm glad you were able to make it. Everybody, best of luck with whatever you
Yes.
decide to go after. If you're getting some stuff at the SDCC drop, if you're getting a Fundays box, if you haven't got the Fun on the Run, it's still available. But definitely let us know, what you guys are most excited for. And then some of these, other news topics, feel free to chime in like always. But Charlie, you can let everybody know, the regular stuff, the good housekeeping things.
So if you haven't already, please like this video. And at this point, if you could shoot us a comment, let us know what you're getting. Like Mick said, let us know what mascot you're going for if you're going for the box. So we want to kind of see what everyone says here in Collector Chatter. And make sure, if you haven't already, please sub to this channel and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos are coming out. As always, we got those NFT videos. My Stranger Things NFT video will be coming out soon. And go follow us over on Instagram at Collector Chatter, and then at pop_Migs and at collector_Charlie, and then Trae. Let everyone know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at STX_collectibles. Same thing as TikTok, Instagram, STX Collectibles, and of course my YouTube channel, South Texas Collectibles.
And also, if anyone doesn't know this, Trae's a Turtles guy. Turtles hype is really huge. So send the Turtles love over his way as well, because he's getting all the collectibles for that. And I know he'll have videos. He has some already, and more will be coming out. And obviously, if you're listening on the podcast platforms too, thank you so much for that. Like us on there, give us a review. It's always fun to see what people like to say on those platforms, and that does help us as well. We're still really trying to grow this channel. But once again, good luck with everything that you may buy this week. And remember, collecting is the way. And until the next episode, later, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Later, guys.